Hello and welcome to a little bit of an Aussie commentary. My name is GMT, joined by Phylum. And today we have a replay sent from who exactly is it, Phylum?
Okay, so this is going to be Aussie Rising Legend DCP. Have you ever heard of the Australian player Fishy?
I've heard of Fishy, yeah.
Yeah, so DCP is Fishy's brother, and as we know, Quake runs in families, right? You've got Fraze and Kama.
Always.
You've got, Zamas and Aru.
You've got me and my brother.
Exactly, legends. Should have I heard of your brother?
He's never played Quake in his life.
Beautiful. But if he did, he would be a very good commentator.
A very good commentator. Some say the voice of the game.
Yeah, exactly. So much untapped potential there. Thankfully, I'm glad, right? Because that just means we get to collaborate a bunch.
Exactly. So DCP sent this in, up and comer, really getting into the thick of things. We're on Frontier, and he's up against bloodonice. What can we say about that player? Do we know him at all?
Yeah, so bloodonice, also known as Disruption, he's been, this kind of like bottom of Div 1, I would say, right? So he's not going to really be taking down your Steeges or your Dander Kings, but he's a really serious player. In the last few months, I feel like his aim has gone from like good to very, very good. He started like top scoring in a bunch of public CA games and stuff. He's putting a bit of grind in, seemingly ready for Diabotical. He knows how to play duel. His fundamentals are going to be good. He knows, he checks a lot of like all the boxes. He's just not particularly flashy. He doesn't do anything too crazy. He's an extremely consistent and very, very good player.
So to reference a video that came up a few weeks ago now, featuring James and Zanaku, he's sort of cookie cutter. Not quite that cookie cutter adapt or cookie cutter pro level. Anyway, off the bat, DCP is going to get this mega health as well as the rocket launcher and make his way over to the blue. Bloodonice will be picking up the red armor and the pincer as well. And we'll see what he can do with that.
Yeah, you've really got to watch out for these opening pincer angles. His goal right now, like if he hits this opening shot, and he has done, but he's done it at the cost of giving up red position.
Yeah, it's difficult, right? And it's not so clean cut what the correct answer is there. And actually, it's bloodonice that clutches it out with that second pincer shot in a row. And now getting more damage done. The stack not where you'd want it to be for DCP to make a claim for this mega. And he's going to get dropped. The pincer doing amazing work for bloodonice.
Oh, yeah, and the jump forward down to Mega again, he's actually clutched that really hard. Like, you can't rely on hitting those shots, but when you do, you take it. There's no complaint there. But still, it's not too much of a game changer because bloodonice is still going to get over to this red armor really, really comfortably.
Yeah, and it's only 2-1. So, whatever we talk about at the moment in terms of how much it matters, it's sort of hard to tell until the game's over whether these were pivotal moments or not, because the momentum may well swing the other direction.
Now here, I think there's something really interesting to say about that, because DCP, right, like, it just caught with the wrong gun out there, and this whole area around the Mega is so interesting to fight around, as we are going to have another encounter. These guys just playing, like balls to the wall. But fighting around that Mega, you have to be so careful. There are so many ways to take a lot of damage, whether you're high or low. And just dangerous room.
Very dangerous indeed. And Frontier, I think it's sort of deceptively not as open as it looks. It is actually like a series of interconnected tunnels more than anything else. Although some of the rooms look quite big and airy, they don't really play that way, which is partially why Pincer is as powerful as it is. Now, with DCP coming in, not for the red, he's going to back away and go for the blue. I think this is smart. Didn't want to challenge that, and should be able to pick up both blues. Doesn't quite have the weaponry he wants, but making his way over to the pincer now. But needs to clear this angle, of course. And now, has he wasted some time?
With two blues there, he's going to actually have like a pretty comparable stack. It's just the entrance, like a massive, bold entrance here for bloodonice.
Yeah.
Look, it's DCP. This is so ambitious again.
Oh, I'm sad for the boy.
I like that he respawns onto this red, but you're fighting to die there.
Yeah, going for the melee as well. I mean, it's just unnecessary, and I don't know the player, whether he's just very playful or whether he's a bit of a tilter, but not really the player you want to see in a more serious game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think again, it's this kind of like he's doing a really good job of practicing a lot and playing a lot of players, but it's hard to get lots of games with players the quality of bloodonice. So maybe just a bit of consistency, especially in aim that he's not used to coming up to in these duels. Or just some bad decisions, right? It does happen. Everyone makes their mistakes.
Yeah, and the better the player you play against, the more you realise which are mistakes, whereas if they're unpunished, you can't see them a lot of the time.
Exactly.
I know from my own experience, actually, I don't know if you've ever had it where you watch someone who's of a similar skill level as you, and you think, oh my god, they're awful. How is there any way that I'm that bad? And then you watch your own demo and you can see it. It's a bit like that when you're facing a much better level opponent. Suddenly your eyes are open. And it's quite a shocking thing sometimes.
Your eyes and maybe a couple of other places. DCP has just walked into a really, really strong control, right? Like, he didn't have to do too much. He just positioned himself well. And once bloodonice has given him the chance to get into position on these megas, he's absolutely taken it. Really close fight. I like what bloodonice does. It's just like the stacks coming into play, right? Those uncontested megas.
Yeah, uncontested mega is very powerful indeed. And on the red now, 100-100. Looking for the blue, or potentially to trap it up. He's going to take it from himself, which leaves bloodonice with just the other blue for armor.
Yeah, and I don't think he has a pincy. Well, there it goes. We just saw him. We just saw the respawn after he took it. But yeah, yet another uncontested mega. And we're going to see how DCP spends this, right? He's got it in his wallet. Now he's going to take it to the bank. And an uncontested pincer shot is going to be perfect.
Yeah, and actually a lot of restraint shown there. I mean, when you know that you're at what must have been, 100, 120 sort of range stack advantage, to not just go in there like a headless chicken is quite difficult. And probably harder than a lot of people realise.
Oh, absolutely. Like, you get the blood in the water. But what's really important as well is that DCP is actually able to deny every armor. He's taken a lot of damage, but bloodonice still, like, I don't even think he's collected the bottom blue, right? So DCP actually surprisingly safe in that situation, I think.
Yeah, and even if he did get that bottom blue, it's still 3 items for 1. And because of the damage that he's taken, DCP was able to make most of that blue armor as well. Now coming in, shaft on shaft, it's a little bit shocking from DCP, but he brings it out with the pincer and indeed with the rocket launcher.
Exactly. I like that he knows where. I like that he knows where bloodonice is spawned. That's really important. You don't just rush in and die there. But again, DCP, he took 3 items last rotation and then pressured the 4th. He's going to have a more reasonable split here, but he is in position for this blue armor as well. And he really seems like he's just a little bit ahead of bloodonice in terms of item control here.
Yeah, just a little bit. And, bloodonice, I would say what has saved him is, again, that mechanical consistency, but the way that he uses it, the way that he leverages that with his aggression. There's a fair bit of unanswered damage or great beginnings for fights of bloodonice. But when he's coming up against the stack differential that he's giving away, all the combat skill in the world isn't going to help you.
Exactly.
It's another mega.
Again, like DCP, yeah, he's positioned really well to just take these items. And I think another thing that we've seen here, DCP really knows how to play in control. And it's the out of control play, like the harder part of your Quake game, right? And it's kind of what you expect for a newer player, but the out of control play isn't quite as strong. Desperation slowfield there for bloodonice.
Yeah, and so I really want to see bloodonice take a little bit of a breather, get timing on at least one item, decide when he's going to attack, why he's going to attack it, and otherwise steer clear.
Yeah, what he did just then is going to get him nowhere.
I mean, it is a strategy that some high-level players use even, just to throw enough lives at it and then you'll get control after, but it's risky, and I think the skill differential needs to be bigger.
Yeah, exactly. DCP, he's got the fishy genes, right? You don't want to mess with his aim.
You certainly don't. Already looking pretty good. 6-5. Brought this back, what was it? 5-2 in favor of bloodonice at one point? Really, really nice from DCP.
Yeah. And those last 3 frags especially, just they feel like really easy frags for him to get. It was just a matter of holding control, and they've come for him.
And as a professional choke artist, can I just say, sometimes the easiest frags are the hardest.
Oh, completely.
If you give me 200, I cannot hit a rail to save my life. You give me 1 HP, I'm hitting 5. Easy money.
Yeah, I'm a bit like that. I like the little shot through the grass there. Oh, DCP knows his angles really well on this map.
And that's so much more impressive in a game like Diabotical, as young as it is, not even released, when you see map knowledge and little tricks used like that. They're going to become very commonplace in a year or two's time, but for now, huge props for making the most of them.
In a year, I'm going to be saying remove that bloody grass, but for now, I'm impressed.
Exactly. Well, and if Reddit's anything to go by, somebody probably already has asked to remove the grass. They're already bored of it.
It's funny that.
They saw the shot once. They're over it.
Yeah. I like that Blood on Ice looks for some height advantage rockets there. Doesn't really connect with any. Again, like, the slow field's a good idea, but I don't think he gets quite enough time with DCP in the slow field to make the damage, and he's taken so much in return.
Yeah. And hasn't been a frag in a little while now. Both players taking a look at things and feeling each other out rather than going for it completely. A nice little escape there from Blood on Ice, who does manage to pick up the red, and so their stack should be somewhat similar, an advantage to DCP, but not after that rail.
Yep. Not after that rail, but maybe again a little bit after this blue armor. And DCP's just done such a phenomenal job.
But we're talking a small difference though.
Yeah, exactly. Another pincer shot is really going to decide how this next encounter can go. But also the fact that DCP gets to the red position first is going to be worth a lot.
Yeah, and I don't know, Blood and Ice just a little bit out of position. He was, of course, looking for the pincer before, but that's put him in such a weird spot that there's no way he could have contested the red because he himself was low ground.
Yeah, it looks like he has stolen away the Mega in that, though, which is, like, I'm not sure if it was when he was actually on it originally or a little bit after. And maybe DCP a little bit uncertain on that as well. Or maybe not. It's really hard, like, not having timers as a caster. Man. It means you have to actually use your brain. It's weird. But again, DCP's done this thing where he just waits around a little bit, waits for the next item to respawn, and is on it.
And I think, what you're saying with regards to just very solid fundamentals, I don't think DCP's POV is all that different from a very high-level dueler. It really is just a little bit finesse here and there. All of the decisions he makes are quite easily justified, even the small mistakes.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And especially how he's been playing around these blue armors in this game. It shows so much maturity.
Yeah, it's hard, right, to get yourself excited about a blue armor, but every little helps, and, well, if you look after the pennies, the pounds look after themselves, as they say.
That's a good one, I like that. Now, DCP, I think what he's going to do here is play for golden frag, right? Because if he tries to push in for a frag and it goes badly, he loses control.
And, well, yeah, that 30-second gets added. There's no need. I think, I mean, how much would you want to risk it, though? Because, obviously, he's going for this big attack. Would love to already have this be golden frag, because he almost certainly will take him down. But we'll talk about what I was going to say after the game, but, should be a spawn frag, surely.
Yeah, you would be absolutely kicking yourself if you got Blood and Ice get away from this one. But Blood and Ice has done well, right? He's played it slow, he's played it kind of quiet. I assume we actually don't have game sound, but that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, he's got such limited options, though, with nothing on the map. Yeah, that's really rough.
You can feel like the radar of DCP like honing in, like which side is he on, and just staying in the middle while he works that out.
I think this is where mistakes can be made, though. When you're, like, golden frag for some reason puts everyone into a frenzy, and they're like, okay, I'm just going to kill them now, because I have more of the stack, thus I win the fight. Not always the case if you move horribly. Now, DCP isn't going quite that far, but I can feel his anticipation of the frag. I can feel that he's looking for it more than anything else.
His mindset's changed, and Blood on Ice, he's just put himself at a stack advantage hitting those shots, especially with that blue armor as well. DCP needs to be really careful now. He's gone for the really vulnerable blue armor here. Blood and Ice has a chance to hit some really good damage.
He certainly does. And the shaft will take DCP down. Golden frag, of course, still activated. The crimson torso garb adorned. Just sick of saying red armor, mate. I've said it too many times. And now they play Ring Around a Rosie. Everyone's favourite little Quake minigame.
Yeah, and honestly, like, Blood on Ice, just delaying things out until, well, there we go. Hoping to get away there, but ultimately playing with fire. Man, what an interesting match. There was some really cool stuff in there.
Yeah, there was. It was like very even. The matchmaking, if it does in fact exist, some people are skeptical, has done a great job.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, like, you can see that both of these players could be really scary, and especially DCP with only a few months really on the grind and already playing like this. Like, you know, where is this guy going?
Yeah.
Like, do you see him up there with your Phrase, with your Camo, with your Python?
I mean, I think you have to, right? Because I think what you were saying, the comment that sticks out to me when you were talking about his maturity, that's the hardest bit to get. There are some sick aimers out there. There are some people that can time very well out there. There are even people that can do all of that and position well. But so much of Quake is about restraint and going for non-sexy maneuvers. And blue armors ain't sexy, but goddamn are they useful.
Yeah, you've got to know like what you can take. And especially in Control, DCP was doing a great job of taking everything and then making Blood on Ice or Disruption's life harder. But again, I don't want to feel like we're just obviously from DCP's point of view, we're going to talk about him a lot. Blood on Ice, aka Disruption. Blood on Rice. Fantastic player, and he's going to have really strong tournament performances as well once Diabotical comes out.
Absolutely. I look forward to following them and the rest of the Australian scene very shortly.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, GMT. This has been a great game.
You're very welcome. Cheers.